Today I'm doing another Neville Says, where I take a quote from Neville, one of his books or lectures, and I share my interpretation of it and how you can apply it to your life. And today is about changing within rather than changing what's going on outside of you. It's a good one, so stick around. My name is Hedley Dorenzi. I am a qualified life coach and author. I am also super passionate about the amazing teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by the wonderful Neville Goddard. It is the stories we tell that create our life. So if you want to change your life, you have to change the story. And if you want to create the most amazing life, then you need to know how to tell the most amazing stories and then stick with them. And that's why I'm here. I am a storyteller. I love stories. I've been telling myself better stories since finding these teachings, and I want to help you to do the same. I am available for one-on-one coaching if you would like further support. Those details are in the box below. If you would like to stay connected, I'm on Instagram. You can find those details below as well. And I think that's it. Let's get started. So the quote today is from Neville's book, Your Faith is Your Fortune, which is one of the books in the Complete Reader, which I highly recommend. It's from the chapter 5, Who Am I? The quote is, "Your world is your consciousness objectified. Waste no time trying to change the outside. Change the within or the impression, and the without or expression will take care of itself." I have been banging on about this in my videos, and I will continue to, because I have found that I need a lot of repetition with these teachings. I need to listen to them over and over again for them to really sink in, because they are mind benders. They really do flip everything that we've learned on its head. And it's almost like everything we've learned is the opposite. For most of us, we have been taught by well-meaning people that if we want to change something, we need to go out and change it. You know, you've heard the saying, you can't change anyone. We know that, yet we still go outside of ourselves and try and change people and things and situations. It really doesn't occur to us, and certainly it didn't occur to me until I found these teachings. Hang on a second. When something happens, rather than going by the default and going outside of myself and trying to get that person to act a certain way or do something differently, or trying to kind of reorganize that situation in a different way, it's never really even occurred to us to actually stop and go within and to change our consciousness about ourselves in relationship to that thing, but then also change our assumptions that we have of that thing or of that person, which is what's creating it in the first place. We just haven't been taught that our consciousness is the one and only reality, and reality is just reflecting it back. So if there is something going on in your life, such as somebody is behaving a certain way that you don't like, go within and ask yourself, what is the quality of your consciousness in relationship to yourself and in relationship to that other person? And I'll give you an example. I was on a conference call with this person, a particular person that I'm doing some work with. And I had a meeting with them on Zoom, and it was a half-hour meeting. For about 20 minutes of that meeting, I felt that this person wasn't listening, just wasn't present. I felt like they were answering text messages and doing other things on the computer while I was speaking, and I just felt like this person wasn't listening to me and wasn't being present. And I really got triggered into this story, like, I'm just, like the not good enoughness story kind of came up, which a lot of us have. So that story was kind of playing out, and I was getting really frustrated, and I had thought for a second that I wanted to say, hey, excuse me, would you mind, I'm chatting, I feel like you're not present. And I kind of wanted to say something, but I stopped. I actually stopped myself from doing that, because I am working with these teachings. Then it occurred to me, no one to change but self. And those words came up during this phone call. No one to change but self. And consciousness is the one and only reality. So if something is happening in my reality, it's because of a consciousness that I had that's going on within me. So this was going on for 20 minutes. And then for about 5 minutes, I was on this call, but at the same time working with this in my mind, going, okay, what am I going to do here? I just changed the story. In the middle of the call, I went, I am enough. He is present. He's totally listening. Everything is okay. I am good enough. I can do this. I am doing this. So I changed the story of myself in that moment. Because I had a story going on that I wasn't good enough. I was able to change that in the moment while I was still on the call with this person. And the most amazing thing happened. Almost instantly, this person put their phone down and just looked straight into the camera and all of a sudden showed up on this call. 25 minutes it took, and he showed up, and then for the last 5 minutes he was just there. And you know, it was a really good last five. It was only 5 minutes, but still, I realized in that moment that I didn't have to go outside of myself to change the situation. What I did was I went within and I changed the story of myself, not even really realizing that I had a not good enough story playing while I was on that phone call. And I was able to change the story of myself and then change the assumptions that I had of him, because he is just a reflection of consciousness. He's just a mirror. He's reflecting back what's going on within me. I was able to turn that phone call around, and we had a really good last 5 minutes at that phone call. But the biggest thing that I got out of that phone call was just how powerful this is, because I didn't go outside of myself, and I changed the situation because I went within and I changed the consciousness, and then it got reflected back. That experience really has stayed in my mind, because that, to me, one, I was able to do it while it was happening as opposed to going back and revising it later. I was able to see the impact of my change in consciousness show up immediately while I was on the phone call, which is not to say that that's what happens every time. This isn't always instant. And we've got to keep in mind that this isn't about manipulating reality or getting an outcome. What I did was I kind of dropped what was happening and I went within me and I went, oh yeah, okay, I've got a story running. And I was able to change the story. And what that did was that shifted my consciousness to kind of the point where it didn't really matter what he was doing. And then in that moment, that's where he showed up, and he reflected back my shifting consciousness instantly, immediately. It was really amazing. I just wanted to share that with you because we all have that same power, that same capability. We do not need to go outside of ourselves. There's nothing to go out for. Anything outside of ourselves is just reflecting back the consciousness we're holding about ourselves and about that thing or person that's showing up in our reality. What are the assumptions that we're making about them? So the trick with this is to really, before you go out and try and change anything, go within first and look at really honestly, what's the story that you've got playing out? And you'll know, because they're reflecting it back. You can just simply look at your reality and go, oh yeah, okay, I've got this unworthiness story playing out. I've got this not good enoughness story playing out, and catch it and turn it around. And all I did in that moment was like, no, I am enough. I am worthy. I was able to flip it and turn it and shift it. And then that got reflected back really quickly. And we all have that capacity. It exists in all of us. So I just wanted to share this story with you in the hope that it might inspire you when you are in a situation where something is happening outside of you that is not to your liking, it's not favorable, and you want to jump out and change it. Just before you do, go within first and reconnect with yourself. Really ask yourself honestly, what's the quality of my consciousness in that moment? Chances are it's not favorable, and you can change it. You can change it right then and there. Reality may reflect that back instantly, or it might be a little bit delayed, but trust me, it will. Or don't even trust me, trust yourself. It will absolutely show up and reflect that back, because that is the law. And we are more powerful than we possibly can comprehend. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to share with family and friends. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.